What's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do here on the Jam Session. We cook up every single game. Every single day, man. Money making Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Looking for a bounce back day. Yesterday was not the day I wanted it to be. I did end up dropping my NBA play of the day. I had the Golden State Warriors. I liked the spot for them yesterday. This is a team that has dominated the Houston Rockets in recent history. This is a team that had won 17 of the last 19 meetings. This is a team who, has championship pedigree, real playoff experience, while on the other side, Houston does not. Houston did have their back up against the wall, but one thing I didn't foresee happening in that game was Jimmy Butler going out in the first quarter and being out for the remainder of the game. Was that the only reason that the Rockets were able to prevail, win, and dominate in that game? No, it wasn't. But did it play a huge part in it? Yeah, I think it did. So, was what it was, man. Be what it be. I did end up dropping that play yesterday. Try to bounce back on the NBA play of the day tonight. The Cleveland Cavs, they failed to cover after, having control of that game for majority of the game. Miami went on a nice fourth quarter push. Cavs did hold them at bay, end up winning the game, just didn't do it by margin. So they failed to cover in that one. Those were my two premiums last night. I did end up leaving Boston off of the premium side. It didn't end up mattering. They ended up not covering either. Paulo Banchero with a late meaningless bucket. Celtics were up 11, won by 9. Line was 10.5. That was the night last night, ladies and gentlemen. Was what it was. Be what it be. Looking to bounce back today. Yesterday's yesterday. Today's a new day. New goals, new opportunities. I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. All I ask is that you smash that like button for me. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. And, of course, I have premium plays over at the site. Money Making Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do the damn thing, man. Let's talk about some new money. Today, money. First game on the board, man. We got the Detroit Pistons at home, at the crib with the New York Knicks rolling in. Knicks 1.5-point road favorites. Total 214.5. I'm on the Pistons plus the 1.5 here in this one. If you take a money line, you should be fine. I'm expecting the Pistons to win this game. The Detroit Pistons, man, they haven't had a home playoff game, it feels like, in my entire lifetime. That's how bad the Pistons have been in my entire lifetime. Just looking at how this series has played out between these two teams full season, I think this game comes right down to it. And in a venue like Detroit that hasn't had a playoff basketball team in quite some time, this building's going to be absolutely jumping tonight. The aura in this arena tonight is going to be awesome. So I think you should really tune in and watch this game tonight. Remember, Detroit lost to the Knicks first game of the season way back in November, then proceeded to win the next 3 in the regular season. They won the last 3 meetings over the Knicks in the regular season. What we've seen here in the postseason was game 1. The Detroit Pistons controlled that game through 3 quarters. Knicks did figure them out. Pistons didn't shoot as well in the fourth quarter in game 1 as they did throughout the game. Knicks walked them down. Knicks end up dominating them late in that game, won and covered. What we saw in game 2 was a lot of like what we saw in game 1 and what we saw a lot of the regular season, where the Pistons came out, took control. This time, they just didn't relinquish really that control back to the New York Knicks. Knicks did go on a slight run fourth quarter to try to make it interesting, but Detroit was able to hold them at bay and come out of there victorious, stole home court advantage in New York. Coming back home, they've played New York extremely tough all season long. This is a fan base that hasn't had playoff basketball in a while, so this building's going to be jumping tonight, man. I think it's going to be a sight to see. I think this young Pistons team responds really well to that. I'm a little worried about the Knicks, man. The Knicks feel exactly like what I've called them for majority of the season, which is overrated and overvalued, man. I'm on the Detroit Pistons, plus the points in this one. I honestly believe they win this game outright at home, at the crib, in their first playoff game at the crib in quite some time. Let's keep it rolling, man. Next game up, we got our favorite money-making team, the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. They're out on the road facing the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies, 9.5-point home dogs here in this one. Total 227.5. Man, oh man, oh man. The Thunder Buddies have completely dominated Memphis, not only here in the postseason, but all season long. We've seen these two teams play 6 times this season. 6 times. Oklahoma City has won all 6 by double digits. 130-106 on the 29th of December, 125-112 on the 8th of February, 120-103 on the 5th of March, 125-104 on the 27th of March, 130-180 first game of this series, and then 118-99 second game of this series. Nothing here suggests to take Memphis. Now, if you're an OG here on the Jam Session, you know over the last couple seasons, we love betting Memphis in Memphis. They're a different team, monster and animal at home, at the crib. They're of that ilk of stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib. I don't know if that's enough, though. Their season is on the line. Their back is up against the wall. But it's not, none of these games have even been remotely close. Like, they've just been completely dominated. And it's going to take more than that for me to fade my favorite money-making team, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. Thunder Buddies for life. We trust this team damn near with our life. Nothing here suggests to go the other way, so I'm not going the other way. I'm on the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. I'm going to lay the points here in this one. This is a team on a mission. This is a young team who I think who I know has not been a team that has let their foot off the gas very often. And that's not just this season. That's, who they are over the last couple seasons. This is a terrible matchup for Memphis. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible matchup. Oklahoma City is too good on the perimeter. They're too good in the interior. They're too good offensively. There's not one matchup I look at on the Grizzlies and say I like it. Not one. Not one. Yes, getting double digits in our back pocket with Memphis at home at the crib in a playoff game is appetizing. And it's enticing. But I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. I won't switch up on our guys, man. They haven't led us astray yet. They're our favorite money-making team for a reason. They were the #1 ATS team in the NBA this season for a reason. Thunder Buddies for life. I'm going to lay the points with Oklahoma City here in this one. Last and final game of the night, man. We head over to LA where the Clippers are 5.5-point home favorites over the Denver Chicken Nuggets. Total 212.5. Man, what a series this has been. Game 1 was overtime game. Super competitive. Clippers controlled it the entire way. Nuggets grit stole that game at home. Huge offensive rebounds late fourth quarter and in overtime. A huge stop from Russell Westbrook, a huge 3 from Russell Westbrook was the difference maker really late in that basketball game for the Nuggets. They failed to cover in that game though. Norman Powell, still fuck you. He came down and hit that dagger 3, meaningless 3 with 0.9 seconds remaining on the clock. Denver won by 2 instead of 5. Line in that game was 2.5. Game 2. I did take the Nuggets in that game. Y'all know how I feel about Denver at home, at the crib in Denver, up there in that elevation. They have a real home court advantage. Denver goes stupid, dummy, crazy at home, at the crib, or at least they used to. Over the last 2 postseasons, they haven't been nearly as dominant at home, at the crib in the postseason as they were, years prior. Still a team that has won over 70% of their games at home, though, over the last since 2021. So still a really dominant home team, just not necessarily as dominant in the postseason, and they end up coughing one up to the Clippers. Clippers had a really good game in that, or I should say Kawhi Leonard had a really good game in that one, propelled the Clippers to a 105-102 win in Denver. Series flips, man. We head to LA, where the Clippers, remember, the Clippers have their own arena now. They're no longer little brother to the Los Angeles Lakeshore Lakers, and formerly known as the Staples Center, now known as the Crypto Arena. The Clippers are no longer in there. They got their own shit now. They're in the Intuit Dome. You know, they built a multi-billion-dollar arena that has low-key an unfair home court advantage that any other team doesn't have. This is a team that built a wall and some more shit in there, and we're really gonna see how that affects the game in a playoff setting. We saw how it affected the game in a regular season setting as it propelled the Clippers to being the #1 home ATS team in the NBA this season. I think it's going to have the same, or if not even more, impact in the postseason. I don't trust Denver nearly the same out on the road as I do at home at the crib. The Clippers are a different team, monster, and animal this season at home at the crib. This line is Clippers favored by over a bucket for good reason. The Clippers controlled game 1 thoroughly, coughed it up. The Clippers won game 2 off of a really good Kawhi Leonard performance. Now coming back home to LA behind playing in front of, you know, your own crowd who's hyping you up. I'm on the Clips. I'm on the Clips in this one tonight. I see no real reason to overcomplicate this one. They've controlled this series thoroughly for majority of it, even in Denver where we love Denver. Now I think in LA, Denver is in some real hot water and in some real trouble. I'm going to take the Clippers. I'm going to lay the points here on our last and final game of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. All I ask is that you smash the like button for me. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. And of course, I have premium plays over at the site, man. Last night was not the night I wanted it to be, especially coming off the 3-0 night the night before. So, you know, was what it was, be what it be, man. Trust me, when I lose, I'm just as upset as you guys are. I'm just as upset. Like, I do not be in here cheesing like, no. That's not how I be, bro. I'd be just as mad. So I'm looking for a huge bounce back day today. I appreciate y'all that rock with me, man, through even the bad days. I know sometimes this shit ain't easy, man. There's real life money involved and things of that nature, but it's part of the game. Let's do it, man. Let's get it back tonight in a huge and monster way. Appreciate y'all more than y'all know. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here.